guys, it's Lizzie. So today I'm going to share with you guys 5 reasons why girls send mixed signals, and this is kind of a defense for girls in that we're not just like messing with anyone's emotions, there's kind of reasons behind it. So it's kind of just an explanation of why you might be interpreting girls as sending mixed signals to you. So the first situation where a girl will be sending mixed signals is if she likes a guy, and it is completely unintentional. This is really rare that it ever happens, but occasionally I will just like meet a guy and just immediately like be so attracted to him and want to get to know him more, and then I'll feel like so nervous every time I see him. And I'm not nervous around people. I'm not a shy person. I'm super extroverted, social. Like, that's not who I am. But then when I really like a guy, sometimes I'll just be so nervous and like avoid him because I don't even want to talk to him because I don't know what I'll say, and it's just like really scary. And so you might think like, wow, why is this girl like, she was talking to me but now she's not talking to me? For me, if I am going to talk to someone at a certain time, I can kind of like emotionally prepare for it and like force myself to like not be scared, and like, I don't know, I can kind of like control my emotions in a sense to like not be scared. But then if I just run into someone around campus or like see them somewhere, it's like, oh, I don't know what to say, I'm not prepared for this, and then I might like ignore the guy or not talk to him or like act different just because I'm scared. So that could be what's happening. Number 2 is if this girl has a history with you, if something has happened in the past that she's really annoyed at, and now you're like, why is she being so mean to me? Like, well, maybe you just like don't understand what happened between you. I had a situation happen like this where my freshman year at Pepperdine, this junior guy started talking to me like the first week of school, and I was like a little freshman, like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even like him that much, I don't think, but he was just like, he would just like always like hang out with me, and he helped me study, and like it was kind of a weird situation looking back. Then he just like started ignoring me, and then I noticed like throughout the rest of that year he would like be hanging out with a different girl every month. I would see him around campus and he'd be like, hi, and like want to hug me really tightly, and it's just like, no, like get away from me, like I don't want to talk to you, like I don't know, it's just like not cool. Most people I interact with who like nothing weird happened between us, you know, we're friends and I'll act normal, but then if something did happen, it's kind of like I can't act normal because I kind of have some sort of a guard up, and I think that that's okay, and it's not just like being mean and sending mixed signals. There's a reason for it. Number 3 is if something really toxic happened with a guy, or just he was just a jerk to you, or he like messed with your emotions, or like something really awful happened, and now you just like don't want to interact with him ever. And this actually happened to me at Pepperdine too. I actually like, I have been in like one relationship, like one real relationship in my life, but there will be like guys will just like start talking to me, and then like, I don't know, like it's not a relationship, it's just like you're talking and kind of hanging out, and like nothing ever really happens. You just kind of get to know each other more, and like there's some attraction. Anyways, that's these situations that I'm talking about. That's what's going on, not a relationship. But there's this one situation which was like really awful, and like I was kind of being emotionally manipulated by this guy, and it was just awful. And so now every time I see him around campus, I try to ignore him. I mean, I'll talk to him if I need to. I'm sure he interprets it as like mixed signals sometimes, because sometimes I'll be in such a happy mood and I'll pass him and I'll smile at him just because I'm in a happy mood, and I'm like, wait, like should I be smiling at him? But I also don't want to be mean to him. And so it's kind of like sometimes I just ignore him because I feel like we just like should not at all be friends or interact ever. Sometimes there's a group situation where there's like a bunch of other people there, and so I feel like kind of obligated to make small talk, to join in the conversation, just because I don't want to have to explain to everyone what happened, because he has a reputation to uphold that I want to be like respectful of. And this kind of relates to number 2 also. Like if something happened with you between this girl, do not expect her to ever act normal around you again. And you shouldn't have that expectation, and you shouldn't be mad if someone kind of wants to be guarded after you turned out to not treat them the best way possible. So number 4 is the most common situation. If a guy likes me and I do not like him back, but he's not communicating to me that he likes me, it stresses me out so much, and I will probably end up sending a ton of mixed signals to this guy. This happened, I guess, in high school a lot. I feel like now I'm more emotionally mature to where if this was happening, I would just have a conversation and be like, hey, I feel like you really like me, can we talk about this? I made a video about it, I'm gonna link it right here, so you should go watch that. If a guy likes you and you want to reject him, but you don't really know how because he's not communicating about it, that video will explain how. But when I was younger, I would just always start second guessing myself, like, wait, I'm smiling at him, I'm laughing at his joke, but we're friends, but what if he interprets this as like me liking him, and what if this is leading him on? And so for me, I don't know if all girls are like this, but like I try so hard to not lead guys on, like especially I can kind of read body language, so if I notice that someone may like me, I start being really aware of how I'm acting around him, just because I don't want him to feel like he's being led on, because that's an awful feeling and I never want to do that to someone. So then, and I'm not saying this is a good idea, this is just what I've done in the past, this is an explanation, I never am going to do this again. So I would try to like start acting kind of like apathetic around him, like less happy, because I don't want to lead him on. Like maybe if I start acting like I care about him less, then he'll like get the message that I don't like him. In high school, this guy liked me for maybe a year or something, I don't know, but I knew he liked me, I definitely just didn't like him, and he never told me he liked me. And so by the end of high school, there's this one point, it was like a really small situation that got blown way out of proportion. He ended up like calling me a bitch and being so mad at me, and the reason that he was so mad at me is probably because he felt like I was sending him mixed signals. And you know what? Like he was my friend, and I am happy when I'm hanging out with my guy friends. Everyone is happy when they're with their friends, and acting happy it shouldn't be interpreted as like leading someone on. And so I completely blame this guy. Like this is his fault. He could have stepped up, said I like you. I would have said I don't like you. It would have solved the problem. If a situation like this is happening and the guy's not communicating, it can just lead to a ton of mixed signals because the girl is trying to not hurt the guy. So number 5 is that girls have different moods sometimes. Like I might be super sleep deprived and exhausted, or I might have just spent a ton of time one-on-one talking to a friend who's hurting and be like socially just like drained, emotionally exhausted. I might have just had a really hard test that I just got out of and I'm still in that mood of like cramming out to like write an essay and like trying to make the writing amazing. Or I might just be really stressed from school. I might have just been crying. Like there's so many different like moods and experiences you have throughout the day. It's not practicing wisdom to assume that the way someone's acting is a direct reflection of you. Usually it's because something else is going on. Like if someone acts really happy one day when they see you and the next day they're kind of like act a little apathetic, it's not apathy, it might just be like they don't have the energy to be that happy. On this channel, I always act very high energy and happy, and if you guys interacted with me in life or followed me around for a day, you'd be like, wow, like, she's sad right now, wow, she seems mean right now because of how her face looks, because she's thinking, like, you know, like, people have different moods during the day, and it doesn't really mean anything. Those are 5 reasons that I could think of for why girls send mixed signals, for why you might be interpreting them as mixed signals. There's nothing malicious going on, and I don't really think there's anything we could do to change any of these situations. So I hope that this was informative and a good explanation for any guys watching. And if you're a girl, comment below other reasons that girls might unintentionally be sending mixed signals. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!